Welcome to the Book Dialogue. My name is Sarah.
And my name is Rebecca. Welcome to the Book Dialogue Studio. Do you see what is behind us? Let's take a look. It feels like we're in Canada, Sarah.
Well, and it's really funny because that's what I want to talk about today.
Oh, I love Canada.
Well, we definitely have a real strong inclination to be all Canadian because it is one of the best places to be from. And what I am going to be talking about today are two books that I've read. And I want to do a little compare and contrast. Let me tell you what the two books are, Rebecca.
Well, I had a preview of it, and you are going to be amazed by this discussion. Is it real or isn't it? Take it away, Sarah.
Oh boy, now you've really built me up, and I'm just worried now I'm not going to be able to deliver.
Oh, but you always deliver.
The first book I want to talk about is Adam Shoalts, and it's The Whisper on the Night Wind. Doesn't that sound wonderful?
It does.
The second one is Zada, In the Valley of the Noble Beyond. Now, those, just don't they evoke thoughts of Canada? So basically, on the surface, these two books are very similar. So Shoalts is traveling through the Hudson Bay lowlands. So it's very much, he's with a friend, and it's almost like he's journaling his discovery of the country that he's going through and the travails and all of the obstacles that they come up with. By the way, which was just before the late fall, and you know how cold it can be in that area. Zada, on the other hand, was on the BC West Coast, so along the Bella Coola area and in that neighborhood. And both were seeking the unknown. And it's interesting because Shoalts was pursuing some ideas around a documented unknown creature. Now, this creature had been documented through very credible sources for well over 100 years by the settlers in the area. Zada, on the other hand, was looking for the Sasquatch. So he was pursuing his interest in discovering the Sasquatch, which is something he had, an interest he'd had since he was a child. So it's both, the seeking of the unknown.
So the unknown Sasquatch?
Yes.
And what's the other unknown?
Okay, well, now that's the mystery.
Ooh, I love mysteries.
Okay, let's cut to the chase. Basically, the idea, it's a Wendigo. Now, I don't know if you know about
I have never heard of a Wendigo before you mentioned the Wendigo to me.
The Wendigo is, a creature that is found in, basically in myths and stories, and it is a terrible, fearsome creature that preys on humans. I'm not going to get into that story because that's another story which we will have to talk about sometime. Incredibly interesting. Now, so Shoalts is a journal of his travels in the beyond. So it's adventures and excitement of his own experience. And he very much focuses the book on his experiences. Now, Zada investigates.
How do you pronounce Zada?
I think it's Zada, but I've heard Zada. But I think it's Zada.
Okay.
Sometimes when you read a book, you're never really sure that you got the pronunciation right of the name. It's like is my name Sarah or Sarah? I don't care. Just call me Sarah or Sarah. I just want to be called. Okay. So basically, Zada investigates through the stories and the culture of the people in that vicinity. So where Shoalts is looking at his own experience and relating that, Zada is very much looking at engaging with the culture and the people and hearing the stories. And it's a fascinating, both books are very fascinating. I'm kind of drawn to Zada a little bit more because he really gets into the heart and the soul of the people in the neighborhood. Now, both of them, where their common ground is both are on a path of self-discovery and their search for the unknown. So there are some very much, some common themes. Now, where they differ, Shoalts actually seeks almost a rational explanation of all of these stories. And, he certainly conveys in his experience that there are some interesting things that happen in the woods that are unexplainable. But he actually approaches it almost scientifically, and he goes through the details and, of course, ends up with it must be a wolverine. Now,
I don't think so. I believe in Sasquatches. I will always believe in Sasquatches. I have almost seen one.
Yes. Well, this is a Wendigo. And
I got the wrong one.
You got the wrong one, but that's okay. That's okay. I will correct you here. So basically, he talks about it must be a wolverine. Now, he discounts anything that relates to the fact of, the size that was, that had been portrayed was far too big for a wolverine.
Wolverine are relatively small compared to big.
Well, maybe it's an unknown species of wolverine.
That could be.
And we all know the Marvel movies about Wolverine. So the bottom line, though, is that what I came away from that story is that he rationalizes everything. He takes the mystery out of the story, and he seeks to explain it through human means. Now, Zada, on the other hand,
now we're here to the Sasquatch.
We're on the Sasquatch. He looks beyond the physical realm, and he goes into the storytelling, and he talks about the fact that the people who see the Sasquatch are in periods of their life where they are struggling, or where they're in stress, or they're under some sort of duress, and this is when they see it. So he comes away actually at the end of the book with very much that same sense that he believes there are Sasquatches, and he doesn't seek to rationalize it, but he actually looks at whether or not it could be possible. Can we push the boundaries of science into what is beyond the physical reality? So I want to leave you with a couple of thoughts, and our listeners as well, viewers. Can everything be explained by science? Or should it?
I believe that there is the unknown. I believe that there is something that is maybe symbolic, maybe part of us who want to see it. And I think that there are serendipitous moments in our lives where we actually connect with the unknown. We see something that is unexplainable. We see something that we have only been witness to. And when we try to explain it to other people, it is very difficult. So I'm very interested in both these books, and I really appreciate how you brought that out, the scientific versus the esoteric, and the existential, the idea of seeing this under duress. So what is your last words on this, Sarah?
I think that where I want to leave you with is that we need to be ready to accept that our reality might not be what we truly experience. And we need to be thinking about the fact that our subjective experience may not necessarily be the true reality of life around us. And isn't that what books allow us to do? Is it allows us to push us past our boundaries of what we know.
It's all about the story, isn't it, Sarah?
It is.
And take a look at the story behind us.
We're Canada.
In Canada.
Well, and we hope that you'll join us perhaps. Visit Canada. It's a wonderful place to visit, even if you don't live here. And
you might see a Wendigo, and you might see a
Sasquatch.
Who knows?
So until next time, stay well.
Keep reading.
And join us for the next exciting episode of the Book Dialogue.
In the Book Dialogue Studio.